And we are live, Doc.
Well, good evening, everyone. Happy Monday. Hope we're all doing well. Yes, I'm back. We're back. It's all happening. We're going to talk about the Chelsea game at the weekend. Apparently, there's quite a bit to talk about, including dodgy officials, offsides that are not offsides, offsides that even I can see are not offsides, on handballs that are not handball. But we'll get into that, and then we'll look forward to the Bayern Munich game. Well, we'll talk about the Bayern Munich game, and then we'll obviously talk about this really disappointing news about Katie Reid with her injury. Let me introduce you to my guests first. We've got who got to start on first? Paul, how are you doing, mate?
Yeah, just about calming down after Saturday. So, yeah, all okay now.
Yeah. Cool. And good to have you back on. I know it's been a busy few weeks for you, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, this is a little calm couple of weeks and then it's back to it again.
Yeah, cool. Kev, good to have you back on and good to see you at the weekend.
Yeah, good to see yourself, and nice to meet Laura for the first time in the flesh as well.
Yeah, she does exist. She's not AI.
I was going to say that then. I'm not AI.
Yeah, she's not AI.
As well.
Cool.
But
yeah, we don't know.
No, I'm not over Saturday. I am not.
Cool. That's good. It's not good for you, but it's good for the show. But yeah, so we don't have Chat GBT on here, guys. We have Chat Laura. So that's how we work. Might as well say, Laura, how are you, mate? Good to see you on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm a bit tired today. Obviously, we're travelling over the weekend, but I thought I was starting to calm down. And then, of course, as Paul and many others are going to say, the news comes out about Katie Reid and it puts us back in a Debbie Downer. Also doesn't help that Catherine has sent me the stats of the dreadful ref that we had at the weekend, but we'll get into that further in the show.
Yeah. And I think that was our first fan walk together, wasn't it? Sort of.
This weekend?
One that I can remember. The one that I can remember anyway, that I wasn't drunk, I think.
We've done fan marches, but we just haven't done it together where we've been that close.
Yeah, so that was all right. Also, Soapy, how you doing, mate? Good to see you at the weekend.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm here. I'm at home. I'm not on a travel lodge dodgy Wi-Fi, which is the last one of these chats. And I said hello and immediately dropped off the conversation, probably halfway through a sentence. Never appeared again for like 3 weeks. But yeah, I'm not in the travel lodge this time round. At home in my lovely little office. I'm getting worse. As my reaction, I was like, just after the match on Saturday, I was like, oh well, that's life. And then I've got more and more angry as the week's gone on. The injustice of it.
Yeah. What's quite funny is so when we was doing the show the other week, we was like, someone on the show said, "Oh, he's probably only got the free Wi-Fi for about like 20 minutes." No, it'd be right. And that's what it was.
That's it. And then I exceeded the data usage on my phone as well, so I switched over to using the phone. And then it goes, "Oh, you've used your data usage for this month. Your plan's over." And I'm like, I gave up.
No worries. We appreciate the commitment, though. Ravi, good to have you here, mate. How's it been?
Ravi, you're muted.
He's speechless. See?
There we go. Accidentally hit a little button on my.
I thought words couldn't explain it. That's what it was.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's like, yeah, I kind of feel that way anyway. Like after the game, went to have a few post game drinks to sort of like calm down a little bit, and then the men's game was on the TV, so then needed a few more after that.
Yeah. Less said about that, but apparently it's all right to elbow Mikel Merino. It's fine. Yeah, but it's an Arsenal world. So Laura, should we just say hello to a few people in the chat?
Yeah, let's do that. Catherine's obviously said hello. And then she said hello again. So she has. I think she was.
She's got an echo or something. No.
Warwick, the Gunners in.
Hey,
He
Luke.
said, "Hello." Margaret Sheldon's in. Hello,
Hey,
Margaret. I hope
Margaret.
the better looking brother of the Wells brothers is in. Chris. Darren.
I thought he was going to say the Sullivans then. I was going to go, all right, what? I thought it was Austin or
What,
something.
Kellogg's boy? Kellogg's boy
Oh,
is not in.
shark bait, yeah.
G's in. Hello,
Hey,
G.
G. Looking forward to
hope
seeing
you're
you
well.
tomorrow.
Obviously, Mark Barker's in from Australia. Hello, Mark.
Hey, Mark. Yeah, definitely keep watching, Mark, because I want to talk about Kyra. And it's positive, Mark. It's positive. So,
Ryan's in. He said, "Evening all. Hashtag fuck
Hey,
the
Ryan.
ref. Hashtag we were robbed of 3 points." And Catherine
the
has said,
thing with Brian is he's got that on copy and paste from the men's team as well. Like he's had to say it so many times over the years.
"That's all Ryan ever says."
Yeah.
Catherine has said, "I feel bad for Laura because of all the stats I've sent in the last 1.5 hours or so, maybe less."
She's the AI of the group, so
Yeah, we should have maybe have got Catherine a jingle because hopefully
maybe
going forward.
maybe that's a segment we can think of going forward. Is I don't know. I can't think of any catchy names at the minute, but I was going to say cat stats, but yeah, maybe not. But we'll definitely use that as a jingle going forwards. And also, just before we actually get into the show, obviously, if people could hit the like button and the subscribe button on the Arsenal Women Chat Show, also on the Highbury Fans Forever channel, and we are doing the women's shows going across on the Mr. Arsenal podcast from now. I think that's right, Ryan. So obviously, please hit subscribe on all those channels. That would be really, really appreciated. And just drop your comments in the chat. Yeah, let's just get into the gritty stuff. I'm going to start with you, Kev. Obviously, we saw the lineup. Obviously, still no Kim Little. What was your thoughts with that lineup?
To be fair, I was worried about the midfield.
So did I when I saw it.
And the lack. I mean, Kim's not big in stature, but she's a big performer in that defensive midfield role. And I personally don't think we've actually got anybody else that's that defensively minded. So I did worry, and obviously it was borne out in the first 15 minutes because we knew they were going to come out at us. So we needed that strength at the back of the midfield.
Yeah.
But I say going forward with Kimmy probably having to be managed a little bit better, we do have to find somebody that's going to slot in there for that defensive role. Whether Kyra can move up to that or not is yet to be determined. But other than that, and I personally, and I've said before, Taylor Hines is a starter for me at left back. We need her pace and her strength. So I was disappointed that Taylor wasn't starting, given how she's been playing lately for club and country.
Yeah. I think while we've got Mark in the chat, just because obviously I really appreciate you, Mark, watching and that being in Australia. I do want to talk, Ravi, I'm going to come to you. I do want to talk about Kyra because I've been told, not me personally, but in the fan base and in the media, is that Kyra was meant to be the answer to us rotating with Kim Little and Leah Volti leaving.
Yeah.
So when we're playing, unless I'll hold my hands up, I don't know, unless she was ill, surely there's no other reason why she shouldn't have started that game Saturday, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. Like, I was really surprised not to see her start. I get Palova starting. I've been a big supporter of her, like coming into this midfield. I think there is a spot for her, but then if you're going to drop Russo into midfield, then there's no real spot to play a midfield trio of Palova, Mariona, and Russo in that midfield. That like we were just going to get overrun completely behind us. And it's weird because even when Kyra did come on, she seemed a little bit advanced, like in that sort of like right number 8 kind of spot. Which again was like, I know we were chasing the goal and everything, but it's just, it doesn't make any sense to me. And like we've spoken before about the lack of world class number 6s in the women's game, but like surely someone with the technical ability that Kyra does possess, she can turn into someone like Leah Volti, who's been that player for us for so long. I can see it quite clearly, and so many people can as well. But whether Renee and the management team don't is another thing, or if they see her as something else.
Yeah, and obviously, like we're going on what we're seeing on the pitch, aren't we? Like, Paul, I'll come to you. We ain't seeing what's happening in training or behind the scenes, but I agree with Ravi about the Palova thing. The thing I didn't really like, if I'm honest, Palova and Mariona didn't feel as attack-minded for me as they could have been. Whereas, yeah, like Kyra, like I'm assuming she plays 6 for Australia. So if surely that them sort of games and when Kim Little's injured is the opportunity for Kyra to play, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised at Kyra not getting the start. I thought when Kim was out injured, that would be the ideal person to come in, fill that role. And watching Palova and Mariona play on Saturday, something just didn't quite feel right. It was almost as if they were trying to be a little bit too defensive to compensate, and they didn't look natural in that position together. So I would have liked to have seen Kyra in there, because I think she would have just given us a little bit more of an edge, getting the ball forward a bit quicker.
Yeah, like Sophie, I'll come to you. I didn't think I'm not going to sit here and say I thought Palova and Mariona were awful, because I didn't think they weren't the worst. We'll talk about a certain left back in a minute, but it's just more the bigger question is for me is with Kyra, if she's, and the only reason she's not there surely is if she was ill, because how is she meant to prove? Because I think we have I don't know if you agree, but we have a bunch of players that after they've played a few games consistently, they actually look quite good.
Yeah, and I still, I don't know. We're quite a significant way into the season, and I still not convinced Rennie knows what her starting 11 is, right? And it's still a little bit. You wait for you kind of know which players she's going to juggle on and juggle off, and swap on and swap off, but you don't know what the starting 11 is going to be. So you're still waiting for that team sheet, and when you look at it, you're going, right, what are we doing this week? And I think she's got to, as you say, she's got to consistently start a core group of players and decide, particularly in attack, what her best attacking options are, and as you say, in that midfield as well. And I think there was a bunch of players there who are probably thinking, well, when am I going to get a game? And there's probably a few others thinking, well, am I going to consistently be allowed to start a game? And Kyra's one of those for sure. And particularly we're thinking, well, Kim Little's not available. Well, that's my opportunity. And then she's not been given that. The other thing I saw, though, and I'll be interested to see some of the statistics from the game, which I haven't bothered to look up yet, I should have to, is the number of carries or dribbles that Chelsea had end of the first half, beginning of the second half, literally down the middle of the pitch, where they carry the ball, they just break with the ball and just carry it at their feet with no challenge being put on until they're challenged by, one of the centre backs. And at times it did look like they had a free hand to run at us, from that midfield, because we didn't really have those defensive. Well, supposedly we had defensive-minded midfielders, but they seemed all too easy for them to carry the ball a significant distance, just at the feet. So that worried me as well. But yeah, I as long as Remy sort of in the next 3 or 4 games decides who her starting 11 is, right, or what her attacking philosophy is going to be, and who's going to start, and then you can bring in 1 or 2, each game, but you've got to have a core 9 or 8 players who consistently start in every game now. But I don't, again, we've got to look through the starts, but I don't think she's got there yet. I don't know if she does know what her best starting 11 is.
I think we've played 10 games and we've only started with the same 11 twice.
Yeah.
So, that and I think obviously it doesn't let's not completely shoot and say, oh, Renee don't know her best. To be fair, her best centre half has been out injured all season.
True.
And now obviously Kim Little, the captain, is out, so obviously she has to adjust it there. I don't think what's really helped her is the lack of form that Katie McCabe's been in the WSL. Because I think Taylor Hines is better personally. And evening, Darren. Hope you're okay. It's a hard one, isn't it, Laura? Because obviously, like Dorian said, maybe Palova and Mariona were told to play a bit more defensive, but surely you just want to try and be seeing Mariona in that creative number 10 spot and doing what we know she can do. And surely we've got enough defensive options in other positions, maybe like Palova and Kyra, that could have helped that.
Yeah, as Dorian also stated as well, if we don't rotate, then everybody complains as well. So there is going to be times where you're going to look at that starting lineup and think, what the heck is she playing at? I personally don't think the first 10, 15 minutes I thought we were awful, and I thought this is going to be a high score game to Chelsea, and then we managed to get to grips with the game, and I thought, you know what, we're actually controlling this game. We had more control of the game even towards the end of the first half, and then of course majorly through the second half. So I personally don't think it was a bad choice. The only player that genuinely concerned me, and I have said it over the last few weeks, and I don't really want to see her near the starting 11, is Kate McCabe, simply because I don't think she's pulling her weight. I simply think Taylor Hines can match a player pace for pace. She seems like someone that wants to prove that she can be in that starting 11 and that she's willing of a place, and that she can put Kate McCabe out of her position if Kate McCabe doesn't start to pull away. So that's the only kind of player I was kind of like, well, I wasn't expecting to see her start. The midfield in terms of obviously Palova and Mariona. I personally don't think Mariona had a bad game as well. I thought there was glimpses of the Mariona we could see drive the ball forward, pull a ball out of space that was clumped together that we had to get out of and get the ball forward. Palova had quite a good few chances as well to create something in the game, and then of course Kyra Cooney Cross comes on whenever she came on. The game was that intense. I really couldn't register when she came on, but again the pace went up again. I genuinely was shocked that we didn't start Frida Maanum, because that's usually what we tend to go for. We tend to go for Frida, Mariona, and then maybe Palova or Kyra. And I was shocked that she didn't start Frida, and maybe it's a statement as well, because I genuinely felt Frida come on and there was a spark there that we haven't seen in Frida in a while.
I just think with the rotation comment, it is good to rotate, but Kyra's meant to be the defensive number 6 when this is what people don't seem to understand or listen. That's what we keep getting told, is that Kyra was the answer to when Kim Little retires out or Leah Volti was leaving.
But Mark
then
has
she
also
still
made the
doesn't get
comment
going.
that Mark has also made the comment that Joe Montemuro has been playing her as a 10 for Australia at the moment. So I don't know.
Yes,
This is the
she
thing when
probably
they come
doesn't
back
know.
to it.
She probably don't know what she's doing. Like for Arsenal, she's wanting to play. Australia, she'll probably be at left back in the next international break. Like, but like I completely get that Chelsea have a strong midfield and you can't, but you have to play as a team unit. Yeah, I get that, but you play to your players' strengths, and I don't know if we do that as much as we should. But let's get into the game a bit more because we can come to stuff. Ravi, I'll come to you. Obviously, the first 20 minutes, I think Daphne had made a double save already, hadn't she? Obviously, Chelsea had scored through, is it Alicia Thompson?
Yep.
Yeah, so, mate, I listened to the game on the headset, obviously. I was so frustrated with that goal. It was like we was playing Matrix football. So it was like we was just waiting, saying, "Oh no, you have the ball. Go on. No, take your time. Oh yeah, have a shot, goal." I don't know if you agree. It just seemed like a comedy of errors for me and just so slow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we closed down the spaces well enough. And I think that's where the whole conversation loops back to not having a naturally minded number 6 in the team. Like, that is the prime spot towards, the penalty spot, edge of the 18-yard box, where someone that is screening that defensive line picks up that ball and makes an interception, makes clearance, does whatever, or really just closes down space. It was weird because as soon as she struck it, I'm not sure what your audio description said, but it's almost like time stopped for a little bit or just slowed down because it just looped over and you could see it happening, but you just couldn't stop it.
It was a horrible moment because it just felt like time had stopped.
That's why Matrix football.
Yeah.
It's like listening to a WhatsApp message at 2 times speed when they took the shot and then someone slowed it down to 0 or just paused it. There's even on the headset they went Alicia Thompson goal in a minute. That was their words. Goal in a minute. They didn't say it was straight. So obviously you could kind of get the irony with it. Is that it just I don't know. It just sounded horrible visually. You guys have said it looked horrible. It just. I don't know how to explain it apart from it's like we were stepping in treacle while she was shooting. I don't know. It just But why can you not? Surely that's professional football that you close players down, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, you would have thought so, but I think it's one of those where she almost ghosted into that area with no one actually picking her up. It's almost like they just didn't expect to see her there. So everyone else was kind of just tracking the frontline players like Macario, and just almost ball watching a little bit and just staying in the line that they were trying to keep. And Thompson just, she popped up, took the shot. I'm not sure if it was a complete miss kick or anything like that because it just looped over. But it was such a bizarre goal to concede, especially in a game like this where the technical level of both teams is so good that you just don't expect something like that to happen.
Yeah, it just defensively looked horrible. It's like I know someone said it was a chip. I don't know. I think I could have ate a portion of chips in the time that ball hit that net. It took that long. But yeah, Kev, I'll come to you. Obviously, that was a disappointing goal to concede. But then I think after the 20 minutes, I wouldn't say we was great, but we kind of improved a little bit. Would you say?
Yeah, and I've seen people, our own people, saying that we were awful in the first half. But I'm sure somebody will have the stats on how many shots there were in the first half. And to be fair, I think we did have a fair number of chances in the first half. Although, if I'm honest,
Kevin, it was 3 and 3. It was 3 shots on target for each side in the first half.
But I think all 3 of ours were almost back passes to Hannah Hampton. They were so weak.
Yeah.
And I just sort of sat there and I'm laces, come on, basics. You're playing against one of the top keepers in the world. And you just, it's you gotta hit the bloody thing.
Yeah.
So
I think what frustrated me as well, Kev, was that we got opportunities in the first half. And when we got to the final third, it was like, oh, what do I do? Like, it was like, they didn't take shots on. The only one that Darren's going to fall off his chair here, I'm going to praise Stina. So the only person who seemed to want to take a shot on was Stina. And that includes people like Russo, Ford. Like, everyone knows how much of a fan of Russo I am. But I don't know, I've been saying for weeks, we're such a confidence-based team. I think I've moved on from that now. I don't really get what we're trying to do as an 11.
Well, I mean, I've been saying since the start of the season, we're not attacking the box enough.
Yeah.
And then against Leicester, all right, it's only Leicester, but we attacked the box and we got the benefits from it. We reverted to tapping it around outside the box again. The times I sat there, as you know, I sit in row 1, just behind the goal. And even in the second half, we were still, and I'm screaming at them to drive into the box with the ball. Because many things can happen when you do that. You can get a pen. Ball can bounce to anybody and hit a first-time shot, which is Stina's favourite, is the first-time shot. She hasn't got time to think about it. If she thinks about it, it goes wrong. But, just drive into the box. We get so many opportunities to do that, and quite often, 30 seconds later, we're playing the ball back in our own half again. But
did you see... Kev, did you see the stats? Like successful final third passes. Chelsea 46, Arsenal 129 successful final third passes. But you're right, it's all outside the box.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. But what did they do with them 129
what they do with that
final third?
Final third passes? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what baffles me. Like,
yeah.
So also, Paul, I'll come to you. I think we've got a picture of Daphne, haven't we, Laura?
We did have her up, and that's why the picture was up, Chris, because we did start to talk about it, and then we went off her, so I'll bring it back up again.
At first, on my voiceover, it sounds like Chris has said, why is Daphne's picture on the chart show? But I didn't know we were doing...
We did say it on the chart show.
Yeah, but she is our number 1. So there's your music reference. Paul... I think obviously we saw Daphne make a cut, and I think it was 2 double saves in the end, like in the game, but she probably made quite a few ones afterwards. I think that's why we get so worried when she's carrying an injury, don't we? Because she is absolutely class.
Yeah, I mean that was 2 or 3 double saves and quite a few other saves. She kept us in the game a couple of times. I mean, there was one. In the second half, I think there must have been about 4 or 5 chances that Chelsea had, and a combination of Daphne and a couple of our defenders just managed to get it away. And each time you just thought, is this just going to kill the game off? And she was there. made the saves. She's had the odd little blip over the last sort of season that she's been with us, but name a goalkeeper that hasn't. So when
Borba.
Yeah.
True.
Naomi Williams. Yeah.
So when there's the risk of her having an injury or something, she's one of the key players in that team that's almost irreplaceable at the moment. Obviously, we haven't seen enough of the other goalkeepers to say definitely, but everywhere else on the pitch, there's almost at least one other player that you could say she can come in for her if she picks up an injury. But at the moment, we haven't got that with Daphne.
No. Cool. So there you go, Chris. So I hope that makes you happy. We spoke about Daphne now. That resembles the photo. We'll go into the second half. Oh, here we go. So I'm going to talk about the first offside, Laura.
Yeah.
So was it offside or was it handball? I can't even remember.
It was a handball.
Handball.
Handball. Yeah, right. So, Laura, I'll let you start with it because I think you got a nice picture of someone, haven't you, who you want to talk about?
I've actually got a clip.
All right, there you go.
Handball.
See that?
Anyone who this supposed handball, for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, and then we can
1,000 times
discuss this. But there's no sound to it because obviously I can't because copyright and whatever. But this is the handball. So it is. So as many people seen, it hits off Stina's midriff. Hands are out where they shouldn't have been if it was going to be a handball. The ref lets us celebrate it for a good 40 seconds and then they died. No, because Lucy Bronze is over saying handball. But when you watch the clip, not one Chelsea player claims for that handball whatsoever. Lucy Bronze throws her hands up in a huff as if to say we should have defended that better, and then waits until the ref says, I'm checking for a handball. What you checking? How you checking? What you checking? The big screen above your head that you shouldn't be using because it's not VAR. And this is where the conversation comes in and how we stop that kind of situation, because there's many discussions to come about the refs throughout the chat. How can she call that? The ref didn't call the lineswoman, didn't call it. The Chelsea players didn't call for it. And then she waits 40 seconds to decide, it's a handball.
Even Basil didn't call for it.
Even Sonia Banfoster was like, so confused.
Basil.
Like you say, like even Sonia Tuna Pasta didn't call for it, so she didn't have a clue. Like she thought that was a goal, and this is what my argument is. If in football, I've watched and listened to football for 25 years, they never ever, if there's no VAR, take over 30 seconds to make a decision. What was she waiting for? Someone to go up to and say, "You do know who you're refereeing?" Like the way how long she took was like if they was doing a VAR check.
Yeah. Yep. So I'd love to know, because as somebody said that they were sat by the corner flag, right, looking towards Stina next to the ref's assistant, and she didn't even call for it. So who made the call that it was a handball? Who made that call? Because the referee didn't make it. Chelsea fans didn't make it. Chelsea players didn't make it. And the Chelsea bench didn't make it. So who made that initial call?
It's like Mike just said in the chat, and great to have you here as well, mate. He was sitting so basically directly in line with Stina and the assistant didn't call that.
Yeah.
And then the other official would have to have seen through 4 people. So
Lucy Bronze only made it after she had seen that the ref was questioning something, and she went over. She asked what she was questioning, and that's when Lucy Bronze made the call. So what is that what we do now? A player goes to a ref and tells them, you better make this decision. Because then that's definitely fucking corrupt. To me, that's corrupt. And that's Chelsea corrupt, as usual. Because if that's up the other end and Chelsea score that, no chance is that goal ever being chopped off. We've seen it time and time again, where Chelsea get goals that should never stand, and they stand. That initially could cost crucial points going forward in the season.
Yeah.
And I'm probably not the only. I know I'm not the only Arsenal fan that's angry.
Yeah, I've got angrier and angrier about this one in particular. And where we are, so we're in block 9 behind the goal. You just see it all. You know it doesn't the other hand. And it's so frustrating. And it was a bloody... We haven't said anything about what a good goal it was, by the way.
Yeah.
In terms of, taking it down, trapping it, taking it down and banging it into the top corner. That was a top striker's goal, right? I mean... She deserves credit, Stina, for actually burying that past Southampton. What a brilliant goal! And then to be, and we're celebrating, we're dancing around like anything. And after, as you say, Laura, after about 30 seconds, 40 seconds, I don't know. You've been like, what? The refs disallowed it? Be honest, I wasn't looking at the behaviour of the ref at the time. I was too busy dancing around celebrating the goal. But oh my word, that's the one I'm more annoyed at. Offside. I know we'll get onto the offside goal. Yeah. Offside, you win some, you lose some sort of thing. But that one it's an atrocious decision.
The thing is, as well, there was also, I think it was Sky Sports. Sky Sports hadn't even... Now, we scored that in the 53rd minute. Sky Sports hadn't even realised that the goal was chopped off until the 57th minute. Yeah. And that's when they questioned it. Why was that? And then straight away on that the one that I showed on the screen here, the lady that's obviously doing commentary is like, she asked whoever the co-commentator was, and she was like, "Is it a handball?" And straight away she was like, "No, where's the handball?" And the thing is, these referees and these officials won't ever come out and apologise to the team that they've just wrong done. We will never receive an apology for that. Will never ever be an investigation into it. The officiating in the WSL has to get better.
Yeah, what I struggle with is, so Ravi, I'll come to you. Obviously, we watch the men's game as well.
Yeah.
It's like watching Liverpool. It's like they just get everything. Like the only thing they haven't got in the last 25 years is that Virgil van Dijk goal that was yesterday. That's the only decision that's gone against them. But it's just like, I honestly think if that was I don't know, Bieber Jones or Ramirez or whoever, Precario, they give that goal. Yeah. But where is their why have they not come out to explain their decision?
Yeah, I mean, I think
that's what's annoyed me the most, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I mean, we've spoken a lot about the overall refereeing standard in the WSL and in women's football as a whole. Like, it's not just in the WSL. We've seen it in European games. We've seen it internationally. The referee standard is just not there for the rate that the game is growing. But even on the men's side, like the refereeing standard has not improved with the quality of football and with the pace of the game. So I genuinely do not know what the solution is. Like, I've seen people saying, "Oh, bring technology in." I've seen people saying go to a more sort of like other system, like then.
But the refs are not even professional now.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, and I think there's so few referees that have played the game at any level that they miss out on a lot of context as to sort of like how quick the game is, or how a small touch can actually like send you flying if you're going at full pace. And I think there's a lot of education in terms of like, or even like, create a pathway for like former players to go into refereeing after retirement. Like, I'm surely a League Two player on the men's side would want a career at the top level for like in refereeing, and you could probably say the same thing about some championship level players. They've played like these girls have played the game to a point where they can even to semi-pro standards, like surely build a pathway into getting them like a career post footballer. Like there's punditry, there's analysis, there's presenting, but surely there should be a pathway into refereeing, because we've seen some referees, go into their 40s, 50s, so that's a good 20 odd years that you can add on to your career, and you're staying fit, and it's a possibility, but I've just never understood why there isn't a pathway for former players to become referees, and they would have so much more of a footballing brain for a lot of these decisions of just like why certain things happen in certain situations.
It's been spoken about for the last 20 years with the blokes.
Yeah.
But they talk about fast track. But the problem with fast tracking ex-professionals is the blokes, because I refereed for 15 years. And it took me 12 years to move up from the local Saturday league to the county league.
Yeah.
And then they talk about fast tracking, and then these poor buggers. But then that's why a lot of youngsters start refereeing, and they're the ones that actually have dreams of going all the way, but they're not playing football.
No,
because they choose to referee. Maybe because football, but
some of it's just so blatantly obvious, though. Like, you're telling me she couldn't, like, if she couldn't see that wasn't a handball, then she should be doing the blind football. I'm not gonna lie.
So I mean, apparently, I saw someone, I can't remember if it was on Twitter or somewhere, where someone said, based on where the referee was standing, the only view of Stina that she had was from like a sort of like a diagonal to like Stina's back, side on, and the way that Stina controlled the ball by sort of like lowering her midriff to like control the ball, she extended her arms back as the ball made contact with her body, and that's why it kind of looked, in inverted commas, that it hit her hand, when clearly if it did hit her hand, you would have seen the ball hit the hand that went back. But then it's really clutching at straws to try and justify something that happened that seemingly
I don't think there's a way you can justify that decision.
No, but what they do in the men's, like if they make a big mistake in the men's game, I know people don't like comparing it and all that stuff, but if a mistake is made, you normally get an apology, or it's noticed, if you know what I mean. Like the apology means fuck all. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But it's noticed. In this game, it's like she's made the big fuck up, and it's like, oh no, don't worry about it. It don't really matter. Like a bit like what Darren said. If this was in the men's game, you wouldn't stop hearing about it. I actually do think a lot of people are talking about it actually, like this time. But I at least come out and say, oh, do you know what? I messed up. Like, it ain't going to make us feel any better, let's be honest, but at least it's been acknowledged.
Yeah, I think, in all honesty, it's because they, and we'll talk about the other goals in a bit, but I think it's because they made bad decisions throughout, and it wasn't just this one that cost us. It was another one down the line. And I think, I thought the goal that actually stood for us was offside. And I could see that from, block 15. But, I think they felt going like, oh, do you know what? No one's really going to be talking about this because, you can say, well, you got one after that. But then, we got another one chalked off that should have stood. So, it's...
But I know people are talking about a VAR. But if we want to be honest, Vicky Pelova could have been sent off if that was VAR.
Yeah.
Towards the end. So, everyone keeps saying about VAR. We will have a show about VAR because it's quite a big subject and something I'm quite passionate about. But you need to walk before you run. We do not have professional referees as it is. You think we've got mistakes happening now? Like, wait till you introduce
Essentially, as
VAR.
well, we're talking about Vicky Pavlova being sent off. Santi Baltimore could have been sent off as well for the pull back on Olivia Smith. And
She would have been sent off straight to Chelsea,
was banished for that. So, as I say,
she plays for Chelsea though. That's the big
exactly.
difference.
And as I say, if we can get into it, there'll be stats there from Catherine that we can read out. But for me, it says a lot when the opposition manager comes out and said, "I can understand why Arsenal are hard done by, and I don't really want to comment on it." That says 1,000 words to me.
And what says it all for me is when Sky Sports actually say something positive about Arsenal that we were robbed. Because I'm not used to that. So that for me is when you know that something's been robbed. We'll carry on because obviously then Russo scored. Great finish. It's Leslie Russo. Nothing else really to be said. So we got back into the game 1-1. And then I'll come to you, Sophie. Obviously, it was a good finish. And then we had the other goal that got disallowed. To be fair, with Russo's goal, I didn't actually celebrate at first because I just thought they're gonna call it out. Like I thought they was gonna disallow it because even the commentator thought they was gonna disallow it, but they didn't. But then we had the second goal that was disallowed. What was your thoughts on that and on the goal? And
I think people are quite rightly been commenting, and my thoughts are the same. Really, the ref the line official who gave that offside had to look through at least two Chelsea players in order to judge where Frida Marnham was in terms of calling her offside. And also, it was just such the momentum of the game was with Arsenal, right? We were playing so well in those last 10 minutes, and all that pressure we were putting on them. And it just when it went in, it just felt like we got what we deserved, which is our winning goal, right? And that taken away from us. And when you look back at it, she's right on the line, right? It is you know. I know you don't want to talk about VAR, but I'll give you.
You can talk about it.
I think VAR influences lines like the officials because they've seen so many videos of these lines and videos being drawn where they've got to think, oh, is there an elbow, a toe? You know what I mean? And they're ultra careful about and overly cautious potentially of calling things offside and making like, oh, you know, I've got to make a really fine judgment call here. But you're looking down that line in any other game, you go, yeah, it's fine. Right, and it was that perfectly fine. And to have that taken away from us, honestly, I was, again, as I said, with the Stina goal, I was dancing around. With that one, I thought, because we had so much momentum in the game, right, and we were all over them, and I thought, we've got to get this, we've got it, you know, and we're dancing around and like, taking it away from us again. I was so upset with that. So I
looked straight to the linesman for that one.
Oh, you did you? I didn't.
Those beside me all leapt up in the air.
Yeah.
I was halfway out of my seat. Looked and went, fuck it, I'm sitting
I was
down.
behind you. I was behind you dancing around. Sorry, I get
a bit Kev looked like Alex Ferguson and like a Brian Kidd when he was halfway up the chair.
He was up at the Chelsea lot, and James tapped me, and he was like, "Laura, stop!" And I was like,
I was swearing at him, saying,
James was like, "Stop! It's offside!" And I was like, "You bastard!"
I proper went the full hog. Like when we scored, my hoodie come off, went up in the air. The headset went flying, and then they went disallowed it, and I was fuming. Like a steward was like, "Oh, you need to chill out." I went, "You can go fuck yourself." Like I was fuming. But
but I think the officials on that one were trying to make a decision like they can't possibly make. They're going, well, there might be a toe offside, but you can't make that a decision as the official.
No, she was
without cameras. It was fine. It was absolutely fine.
She
But
was in
somebody
advance.
just said, Ashley
Yeah,
had a
yeah,
picture
she
of
is.
the-
She's not in the line.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so she's
Kev-
not
Kev's
looking.
right.
So she can obviously, from that angle, is going to see. She's going to see an offside from that angle because she's not. She's too far ahead of the game.
Once again, lines have been drawn, and on the majority of them, she's not offside.
But the thing
She's
is,
played
though,
on.
Sky Sports themselves never put the usual lineup. There's not one video of Sky Sports putting the lineup.
No, there's a lot of comedy ones online. Lots of
I bet there is.
lines
And I
like
bet you
that.
it's from Chelsea fans. So yeah.
Like Mike, it's like Mike said, the where the lines person's actually standing, the whole angle's wrong. So how you can give an opinion on when you're standing in the wrong angle, that's what baffles me as well. But all these lines being drawn and all that, but that comes when you look at adding in technology. So they should be just, I don't know, I just don't. Obviously, I know there's some stats, isn't there, Laura?
Yes, there is. This essentially should be where a jingle should come in. And while I'm reading these stats, get your darts ready because I'll put a lovely picture of the referee up. Yeah, is that see you next Tuesday?
Wet wipe of the week. There you go.
Yes, so you can go on fucking Liam's list.
Yeah, you just made the list.
Yeah, I don't have that clip. I maybe need to get that sent to me.
Yeah, maybe.
So, Melissa Budgeon, you see you next Tuesday. So Melissa's stats right across the whole board of refereeing Arsenal games, obviously over whenever she's been a ref. So she's called fouls against Arsenal more than any other team.
Well, it's because we're obviously the most dirtiest team on the planet.
Yeah.
I
didn't know that. Cool.
She has ref 6 Arsenal games, and she gives Arsenal an average of 2.17 points per game, which is second behind Chelsea, who have had her as a ref 2 times less. Calls about 11 fouls against Arsenal compared to Chelsea's 8.5. In the game this weekend, the history tracks called fouls 10 times against Arsenal and 7 against Chelsea. Average 1.33 yellows to Arsenal, and we had 2 this weekend and 1 to the manager. And Chelsea averaged a 1.25 yellow, and they had nothing this weekend. Over the last 14 matches, she has given on average of 2.5 yellows to players and called about 18 fouls a game. Now this is all towards Arsenal. And the 7-4-3 more likely to have an outright winner favouring the home side than to have a draw. This is over 14 games of the 24/25 season and 25/26 season. So stats are there that could just
The stats don't lie, as they say.
and Catherine does a research.
So thank you for that, Catherine. What I'm going to do, so we spoke about the ref, but I do want to end the Chelsea chat on a bit of a positive. I'm going to come to you, Paul. Obviously, that second half, when obviously players like Taylor Hines, Kyra, Olivia Smith, and Chloe Kelly all come on, most weeks we would win the game, wouldn't we? I thought we played really, really well. Probably one of the best games we played in the league in that second half.
Yeah, the second half was completely different, and when those players came on, it changed the game. We got the ball forward a lot quicker, and you could feel the goal was coming. And obviously, a couple of goals did come that we've already discussed. But yeah, it felt like we were much to the better team. And obviously, when you do compare some other stats, they may have won the WSL, but we're champions of Europe. So, it showed in that second half.
There's not a big gap, is there, Ravi, as well? Like if you're comparing that, obviously that was without Leah Williams and Kimmy Little, which we normally play a lot better with them in the team, obviously. But that second half, if you're comparing, like Chelsea, I don't think they looked defensively as strong as everyone thinks they do. And I just wonder. I think it reminds me a bit like, do you know when teams used to play United years and years ago with under Fergie, like you were half beaten before you played them? I think that's a bit like Chelsea now. So when they do lose that game, which they will, they could struggle, couldn't they?
Yeah, I mean, that was the comparison that I was thinking earlier when you were talking about the beneficiaries of refereeing decision there. Like Fergie's United, you scare everything.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. Once they lose a game and they show that vulnerability, they're gonna lose a few. Like we've seen that on the men's side. Once people figured out how to play against Pep Guardiola, Man City were nowhere to be seen the last couple of years. And I think Chelsea come into these games with so much with that mentality of just like there is no possible way that we're losing this game. The only people that have really done that to them is Barcelona, where I think that it was 8-2 aggregate a couple of years ago, and
back to back, isn't it? Yeah.
Back to back 4-1s, I think it was, and I just think,
Robbie, and then what happened after that when that happened?
Well, do you know what? If my memory serves me right,
remind people what happened.
Look, like I'm really I think I could be mistaken here, but Arsenal won the Champions League.
While Chelsea is watching on TV. So,
Yeah.
I'd hate to be a Chelsea
Thanks for jogging my memory there, Laura. Actually,
or in Sainsbury's. I think one of the lines was, wasn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, so it was Arsenal. Arsenal won the Champions League. Kira Walshin's Kira Walsh was in Sainsbury's.
Yeah.
I
love that one.
So she left Spain. She didn't like the supermarket, so she wanted to come back for Sainsbury's.
Yeah.
But I don't know. She might have moved up. She might have moved up by now. She might be at M&S now.
Yeah, let's put a smile on my face given the game and all that. Just remembering that we are the current holders of the Champions League.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just to round off the point, I just think like once they do have that loss, I can see it being catastrophic for them. Like it was the same when the men lost the unbeaten run in 2004. We absolutely capitulated for the rest of the season. Like people didn't have that fear factor when they played us anymore. And yeah, I've seen on BBC like Chelsea kept their unbeaten run intact and equal the WSL record of 33 games unbeaten. Like this should have been the game that they lost, if not for a refereeing performance.
Yeah, no, I agree. Cool. We'll finish it there for the Chelsea thing because we still need to talk about Bayern Munich, and we've done an hour already. Which I love because it means we're all passionate, we're enjoying it. So we're back, baby, as they say. Right, let's go on to Bayern Munich, the Allianz. Well, I have to hear that stupid can song if they score. It's not my favourite song, as you can imagine. Come to you, Soapy. How are you feeling? Obviously, because Champions League and WSL is a bit different, isn't it? Yeah, obviously we've got the win against Benfica. How do you think we're going to do, Munich?
I think we're going to do fine. I think we're going to win. I think it's. Do you not think that maybe the pressure's off if it's an away game? We haven't got the 50,000 Arsenal fans there, willing us to win. Do you not think the players relax and play a bit better? I don't know, but I
don't know. They did them in Lisbon.
Yeah, that's true. But the funny thing about Bayern is that they really only have Wolfsburg, but get anywhere close to challenging them in the German league. And I've just got up, in terms of the Bayern scores, in this season in terms of how they're sort of beating all the other teams in the league, apart from Wolfsburg, sort of 4-0, 4-0, 2-0. And they're doing absolutely fine. They haven't set the world alight in the Champions League at all. So I reckon it's an Arsenal away win. I'm going to be optimistic. So I'm going to say 3-1.
Yeah,
Ours all the way. Ours all the way.
Didn't Bayern Munich lose earlier in the groups?
I'm just trying to look at it.
Was it Leon? Was it Leon or something like that, or Juventus or something like that? I agree with what you're saying. So is that they weren't pulling up any trees really.
No.
Kev, I'll come to you.
7-1 to Barcelona. They lost. They played Barca already. Lost 7-1.
Okay, there you go then.
There you go.
Well, Colts are going to win. We beat Barcelona 1-0, so.
Yeah, exactly.
If football is that easy, mate.
Yeah.
Kev, coming to you. Obviously, are you expecting the same team? I know we've been trying to say that we want to see the same team, but obviously we have got. We've got Spurs. Sorry, that's how irrelevant they are. I can't remember what they do, but we've got Spurs on the weekend as well. I wouldn't mind seeing people like Taylor Hines come in for McCabe though, and maybe Kelly for Ford. What's your thoughts?
Definitely. Although to be fair, Chloe seems to be getting a bit angry lately.
Weren't you watching that?
Doesn't seem to be firing, but to be fair, I'd like to see Taylor and Chloe on that left-hand side. Will Taylor start on against Bayern? I think she will. I do
think Chloe's still not 100% fit, though. I do think Chloe's not 100% fit.
And sorry, Bayern Munich beat Juventus 2-1. So you know what I mean?
Catherine in the chat, by the way, he's got all the data that we need, right?
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
It's brilliant.
Catherine over there.
Yeah.
We're going to try and get her on. We'll try and get her on the shows going forward because I know we have different time zones, Catherine. So we'll try and work something. I think it's an interesting of Laura. I'll come to you with Chloe Kelly, is because she's been a bit of a bit part, isn't she? But I don't know. I think she might have had a couple of injuries, but surely if she's fit. Do you think she's better starting, or do you still think she's better coming on like we saw with England?
Yeah, it's a funny old one with Chloe because there's times where you're like, I know there was times on Saturday I was screaming, get Chloe on, get Chloe on. Caitlin Ford was obviously starting to batter balls off the Chelsea players and wasn't getting very far with them. But when she came on, there was an opportunity for her to obviously, this was before Frida went and scored, and obviously that got chopped off. She had a chance to maybe get that one off her as well, and she just skied the ball right over the bar, and it was like a bit more composure, Chloe, and you had a couple of seconds to bring it down, take a step forward and shoot, and that's in the top right corner. As Kevin said, I just think she's a little bit frustrated at the moment. And I think maybe she thought, I've signed for Arsenal now, that's it, I'm going to get my starting place. She wasn't quite expecting Beth Mead to start as many games that Beth Mead is starting.
I'm going to put it out there. Do you think she's there for the vibes?
Yeah.
Or do you think she's a bit better than that?
She's just there for the vibes. I think Chloe on her day is a good player, and we're very lucky to have a player like Chloe there. There's also times as well where I can see Chloe coming on and the team's a bit like lackluster, and Chloe's like, "Come on, let's get up," and you can see she galvanises the team. But I don't know. I think she was maybe a bit shell shocked as well with the signing of Olivia Smith as well, and she just maybe her nose has been put at a joint there because we've obviously went ahead and got that £1 million signing, and she was just expecting to come in and be in there with obviously Caitlin and Beth, and that was it. We were just going to stop there, but it was always something we wanted, was four wingers that we could switch and maybe confuse players.
What worries me a bit with Livy Smith is that obviously she got that injury, didn't she, for Canada?
Yeah.
And then at the end of the game on Saturday, she got a bit of a whack and all and got took out. And she was limping a bit. And I think we're going to see that a lot over the next 12 to 18 months, that people are just going to completely keep taking her out. A bit like what they do to Bukayo Saka. So I think we're going to see
this was already something that Matt Beard had called out when he was the Liverpool manager. He had obviously called out the tackles that gets put on Olivia Smith, and she's never ever protected. There's never ever something. Not that we're saying that something should just be put in for Olivia Smith, but she gets fouled a lot and she gets hurt a lot, and that concerns me that nothing is ever really said about it.
But you could see how good she is in those 1v1 situations when she came on for Mead, didn't she? Yeah, in that game. And she, especially when the ball is static and you have to go from a static, non-moving ball to then beat the player in front of you, she can do it. And she did that.
Well, there was one in the second half, she sprinted with the ball and then absolutely spun. I can't remember her first name, so I'm just going to call her Sabrina Carpenter. That's what I'm calling her. Absolutely spun Carpenter and basically sent her back to bus stop in Fulham. And so, but that's how you know how class Olivia Smith, and she's got that talent, is going to be. What I think it's like what you said with what Matt Beard and even the Canada manager has said, that she absolutely gets absolute lumps kicked out of her, and apparently she's got like a scar on her leg from a tackle and all. So yeah, that's something. But I do agree. I think fit is probably fully fit and firing Olivia Smith and Chloe Kelly would probably be our best wingers. Ravi, I'll come to you. Obviously, are you expecting many changes? Would you play the same way as we played against? Not in the first 20 minutes, but like that formation, like with Stina Russo in the 10 just behind, or would you change that up a bit? Because it only really worked like that in the final, didn't it? But Barcelona control a lot more of the ball than, say, Bayern will. Yeah, they've got a good midfield, but not to the level of Barca.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bayern are very good as a whole. I think this is going to be quite a tough game. I think it will be a bit difficult for any combination of our midfield trio without Kyra in, like, as the 6. I think she needs to. I think Kyra needs to start this game. And you know, Catherine's comment right at the bottom of the screen, you can see there, like Kyra, Palova, Marnham in the midfield, and Mariana's left wing. Maybe I'd keep Mariana in that trio at some point, maybe over either Palova or Marnham. But I just think get Mariana further forwards, have a bit more of a structure in that midfield, and then just try and sort of like break through whichever, like however this Bayern team's gonna line up. I think we have a really talented squad, and this whole conversation with the wingers and you know what options we have, like we are blessed with a pretty deep squad, but I do think we need some level of structure in this midfield if we're gonna feel a little bit more confident going into this game.
Yeah, cool. Well, we'll go around and get your predictions quickly. Paul, I'll come to you. Obviously, what's your thoughts? Are you confident? And then what's your prediction?
Yeah, I think if we take that performance of the second half against Chelsea straight into that game against Bayern Munich, then I think we'll do well and and stay defensively solid. And I can see a nice sort of 2 or 3-0 win for us.
Cool. Soapy, you said 3-1, didn't you?
I said 3-1. I'm similarly
Yeah.
confident. I go with Paul on that. I think actually if we keep that performance and use the squad, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. 3-1.
Kev, what about you? What are you saying?
2-0. Daphne's going to have a blinder.
I take it you mean to us, not them.
That was
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
Daphne's going to have a blinder. She's not
You can have a blinder. It won't only be 2. Yeah, cool. Laura.
I'm going to go a bit controversial, and I'm going to go 3-2 because we always seem to get a good game out of Bayern, but we always seem to manage to find a way to win it. So I'll go 3-2.
Cool. I'm going 1-1.
Ooh.
I don't know. I just think I don't know. I think Bayern Munich away from home they're a lot more strong. If it was at the Emirates or Meadow Park maybe, but yeah, 1-1. It's weird. I can see it being close like that, or I can see one team battering the other. So we'll see. Obviously, it'll have to be Lotta and Catley. I'm assuming, unless Kadena plays, but I doubt that. Obviously finishing the show on. Obviously, we had some really bad news earlier. For those who don't know, Katie Reid has done her ACL, which is really, really disappointing. Obviously, she started really, really well, I think, this season, and then she got picked up an injury, missed out on playing for England, and now she's done this. So, obviously, we're all with Katie. Fingers crossed that she'll recover soon. But I think, Ravi, just a point from you, really. I'm not saying it's not a good age to get them injuries at all. But the younger you are, would you say there's a better chance of you recovering from it becoming bigger and better than, say, someone who's, say, like Manu's age?
Yeah, I probably agree with that. I think they always say that, the younger you are, the better chance of recovery you have. But I think, given the way that Katie Reid has been performing this season in a true breakout season, and let's not forget Michelle Ajamang as well. Same thing only a couple of weeks ago. Both of them on a really positive breakout season, and this happens. And I just don't really know what the solution is, because you could potentially we need to sign someone, but then does that block a pathway for her to come back into the team? Will it come to a point where, by the time that she comes back, we're looking at phasing out Steph Catley or someone a bit more another one of the senior central defenders? Or, does this injury stay with her for a long time? We don't really know. I think I hope she recovers really well. I hope that this doesn't diminish her potential, but I'm scared for her.
Yeah, but fingers crossed she hopefully recovers soon. Cool.
Yeah.
What we'll do is we'll finish it there, because we've gone over a bit of time. But thank you to everyone for coming on. With on the Highbury Fans Forever channel, you do have another, and I think Ryan's channel got another show, which would be Liam, Brooksy, and Andy with the North Bank Summit talking about the men's game. If you want to listen to that, I definitely recommend it. It's a great show, just the result weren't great. So remember, hit the subscribe buttons on them channels. Obviously, Arsenal Women Chat Show, hit that as well. Really, really appreciate it. I know we're over 250 subs, so that's really good. We will be back, hopefully, maybe at the end of the week, if not going into next week, because we'll be previewing the Spurs game. We'll also have a watch along for the game. Is that all right, Laura?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
For Wednesday and perhaps Sunday. So, but Ryan will be around to do them as well. So yeah, Soapy, thank you for coming on. Brilliant as always.
Right, cheers, mate, and safe travels.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you.
Look after yourself. Yes, yeah.
Cheers.
Going over to
Thank
Germany.
you. Yeah, and Kev, great to have you on again. Hope to see. Are you at Spurs?
I am definitely at Spurs.
Yeah, we'll see you at the home of football in Leyton Orient. But thanks for that.
It's a nice ground. I like Leyton Orient.
I
I
don't
like
never.
Spurs.
It's
I don't
my
like
first
Spurs.
visit.
It's a decent
never-
ground, to be fair.
Yeah,
It's decent. They're
never-
friendly staff.
Yeah, never been. If there's a McDonald's nearby, I'll be all right. And Ravi, thank you as always. Brilliant, mate.
Thank you for having me. Always a
No,
pleasure.
no problem. Might have to get you on an FPL show soon as well, so I'll message you
Absolutely.
about. Cool. And Laura, thank you for all your hard work and everything, and for stepping up when I had to take some time away.
You're very welcome. I know obviously we couldn't really get shows out. Everyone's busy people. Guy Fawkes Night was obviously the time I decided. I noticed that when I put up the chat and I was like, it's Guy Fawkes Night. Most people are going to be at fireworks. Watched
But
it,
yeah,
but
no.
it was the night that I was available myself. But yeah, always a pleasure to help you, and always a
Yeah,
pleasure
thank
to
you.
come on and have a rant.
Cheers. Paul, brilliant as well, and I'll catch up with you soon as well. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, I'll hopefully see you on Sunday.
Yeah, I'll be there, mate.
Spurs, and yes, not a bad ground, and if I remember rightly, the pie's pretty good as well.
Right, cool. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
All right.
Good
On
price.
that,
Good price. Good,
on that note,
yeah.
on that note, we're all about the food. We're all about the Champions League. We're champions of Europe. Good night, everyone. Come on, you Gunners.